Grassland, area in which the vegetation is dominated by a nearly continuous cover of grasses. Grassland occur in environments conducive to the growth of this plant cover but not that of taller plants, particularly trees and shrubs. The factors preventing establishment of such taller, woody vegetations are varied. Grasslands are one of the most widespread of all the major vegetation types of the world. This is so, however, only because human manipulations of the land has significantly altered the natural vegetation, creating artificial grasslands of cereal crops, pastures, and other areas that require some form of repetitious, unnatural disturbance such as cultivation, heavy grazing, burning, or mowing to persist. Grasslands clearly provide the feed base for grazing livestock and thus numerous high-quality foods. But such livestock also provide products such as fertilizer, transport, traction, fiber, and leather. Grasslands also are globally important because they are a natural carbon sink, and natural carbon sinks are an important part of a natural process called carbon cycle. The special about grasslands is they are said to be between a forest and a desert when it comes to rainfall. They do not receive enough rainfall to grow trees like a forest, but they contain lots of grass, so they receive more rain than a desert. Savanna, also spelled savanna, vegetation type that grows under hot, seasonally dry climatic conditions and is characterized by an open tree canopy above a continuous tall grass and understory the vegetation layer between the forest canopy and the ground. A savanna is any kind of ecosystem that has both trees and a mix of shrubs and grassland. A savanna is different from other kinds of environments like a forest because its trees are spaced enough so that the tops of the trees don't often overlap. Savannas also have most of its rain during a season of the year. Savanna exists to protect and provide habitat for migratory birds, to protect and provide habitat for threatened and endangered species, to support a natural diversity of plants and animals on refuge lands. Savanna also are important to human is to be preserved for future generations of the human race. It should be preserved for its historical importance and because of its abundance of life. It is the historical birthplace of the human race and is a biome rich in unique animal life found nowhere else in the world. A wetland is an area of land that is either covered by water or saturated with water. The water is often groundwater, seeping up from aquifer or spring. A wetland's water can also come from a nearby river or lake. Seawater can also create wetlands, especially in coastal areas that experience strong tide. A wetland is entirely covered by water at least part of the year. The depth and durations of the seasonal flooding varies. Wetlands are transition zone. They are neither a totally dry land nor totally underwater. The wetlands are a critical part of our natural environment. They protect our shores from wave action, reduce the impact of floods, absorb pollutants, and improve water quality. They provide habitat for animals and plants and mainly contain a wide diversity of life, supporting plants and animals that are found nowhere else. Wetland also can improve water quality. Wetlands can intercept of runoff from surfaces prior to reaching open water and remove pollutants through physical, chemical, and biological process, erosion control, flood abatement, habitat enhancement, water supply, recreation, partnerships, and education. Wetland are important to us as they remove pollution, recharge groundwater supplies, control floods, and provide home for variety of plants and animals. Desert, any large, extremely dry area of land with sparse vegetation. It is one of the Earth's major types of ecosystem, supporting a community of distinctive plants and animals especially adapted to the harsh environment. Deserts are vitally important to the planetary ecosystem. They covered approximately one-third of the dry land of our planet. They are also amongst the most fragile and endangered biomes. Deserts are important also for the few animals and plants are adapted to the extremely dry desert life. The desert is a vital biome. The desert is important because it's covered about a fifth of the Earth's surface. Coastal landforms, any of the relief features present along any coast, the result of a combination of processes, sediments, and the geology of the coast itself. The coastal environment of the world is made up of a wide variety of landforms manifested in a spectrum of size and shapes, ranging from gently sloping beaches to high cliffs. Yet, coastal landforms are best considered in two broad categories, erosional and depositional. In fact, the overall nature of any coast may be described in terms of one or the other of these categories. It should be noted, however, that each of the two major landforms types may occur of any given reach of coast. Coastal also provide habitat for many other organisms such as marine mammals, corals, sea turtles, and submerged aquatic vegetation. Coastal waters support a wide range of human act. So, it is also strengthening communities' activities such as tourism, transportation, and fisheries. The mountain, landform that rises prominently above its surroundings, generally exhibiting steep slopes, a relatively confined summit area, and considerable local relief. Mountains generally are understood to be larger than hills, but the term has no standardized geological meaning. Very rarely do mountains occur individually. In most cases, they are found in elongated ranges or chains. When an area of such ranges is linked together, it constitutes a mountain belt. Mountains play a significant role in providing water and food supply to the millions of people in the world. Mountains cover around 22% of the surface of the earth and 13% of the world's population live in the mountains. Some of the importance of having a mountains in the environment, which is gives the higher ranges of mountains helps in physical health. They provide unique habitation and support biodiversity. It helps in prevent with speed of wind, promote tourism also, source of fresh air, war strategies. The mountains are very important source of water that replenishes the water bodies. Water from the mountains is used for irrigation purposes and also for the generation of hydroelectricity. Hydroelectricity is a very important aspect of important supply of water from mountains. Because of their height, mountains act as water towers, diverting air masses and forcing them to rise, cool and fall as rain or snow. Water flowing from mountains doesn't just provide essential drinking water, it also sustains food production for more than half of the world's population. A plateau, extensive area of flat upland, usually bounded by an escarpment on all sides but sometimes enclosed by mountains. The essential criteria for plateaus are low relative relief and some altitude. Plateaus are important because of the following reasons. Plateaus are storehouses of minerals. They have rich deposits of minerals, while the African plateau has huge reserves of gold and silver. Nagpur Plateau in India is famous for coal, iron, and manganese deposits. Uses of plateaus are farming and ranching, sightseeing, hunting, fishing off-highway, motorized vehicle use, snowmobiling, mountain biking, logging, recreation, development, roads, mining, and energy. River, ultimately from Latin ripa, bank, any naturally stream of water that flows in a channel with defined banks. River carry water and nutrients to areas all around the earth. They play a very important part in the water cycle, acting as drainage channels for surface water. Rivers drain nearly 75% of the Earth's land surface. Rivers provide excellent habitat and food for many of the Earth's organisms. Rivers provide us with fresh drinking water. It is one of the biggest sources of fresh water. Around 96% of the water body consists of saline water, which cannot be consumed by humans. As a result, we need to rely heavily upon the rivers for drinking water. There are various civilizations formed around rivers. The water in a river that flows is fresh, meaning that it contains less than 1% salt. However, rivers still carry and distribute important salts and nutrients to support plant and animal life. For this reason, some of the most biodiverse habitats on our planet can be found around the rivers. Since the beginning of the human development, valleys have been an important place for people because of their presence close to rivers. Rivers enabled easier movement and also provide resources like water, good soils, and food such as fish. Water running down from the hillsides often carries salt and spreads out across the valley, making flat land that is good for growing food crops and raising cattle and around other animals. Many farms are in valleys that are in hilly land. Many towns are built on the sloping side of valleys. A valley is a landform that's situated between two hills or mountains and is longer than it is wide. Valleys are either U-shaped or V-shaped, and their shape and type is characterized by their formation. Some valleys have rivers running through them and are referred to as river valleys. The forest is a complex ecological system in which trees are the dominant life form. The importance of forest cannot be underestimated. We depend on forests for our survival, from the air we breathe to the wood we use. Besides providing habitats for animals and livelihoods for humans, forests also offer watershed protection, prevent soil erosion, and mitigate climate change. Forests are vital to life on Earth. They purify the air we breathe, filter the water we drink, prevent erosion, and act as an important buffer against climate change. Forests also support the lives of local communities and help them to thrive. But forests around the world are under threat. Forests are major contribution to the Earth's ability to maintain its climate. By the global impact of the photosynthesis, they are natural defense against climate change, removing the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide and generating oxygen. Thank you so much and God bless.